Hey guys, Stealth here and welcome back to Ultimate Admiral Dreadnoughts. About a year ago, I did a video called 1 vs 50. And I'm still eager to see if that still works in the current version of the game. Because that one was recorded quite a while ago and the game has changed quite a bit since then. So let's design the French battleship and go after 50 Spanish light cruisers, which have a 10-year tech disadvantage relative to myself, but which, of course, due to their numbers, could spam an unholy amount of torpedoes in my direction. Now, this is not going to be your average battleship in the sense that it's not going to have all sorts of huge guns, because that'll probably not help me. I need to make sure that this ship is capable of receiving a lot of damage, and at the same time putting out as much damage as possible, but probably using smaller guns to do that. Now, let's see. More resistance to flooding. Let's go with a bigger draft. Potentially a bigger beam as well, because this is going to provide more stability, if I'm not mistaken. Over here, yeah, beam. We're going to boost the beam to max. This is going to be a fat chunker of a battleship. It's going to have a lot more deceleration, less operational range, less gun damage. Oh, sorry, I always read that the wrong way around. Minus 20% gun damage here means that you take less damage from guns and you take less damage from torpedoes. So something like this is exactly what I need in order to survive against a whole bunch of light cruisers. Standard quarters, we're going to go for a potentially tier 5 anti-torpedo belt to make sure that I can survive this encounter. All the anti-flood, reinforced bulkheads 2 to make sure that the flash fire chance gets reduced and my buoyancy gets increased even more. Yeah, I don't think it's going to matter that much whether I go for an all or nothing or a turtleback. Displacements mostly affected. 74,000, 75,000. Let's go with 74. Because I still have plenty of stuff to put on this hull. A simple secondary tower. This is modern secondary tower 4. Huh, they got 2 labeled modern secondary tower 4. Interesting. Not sure if that's the plan. Now, with the new version of the game, I can have a Generation 3 radar rangefinder. I can have the stereoscopic 5 rangefinder, although 20 kilometer range for a ship this advanced isn't that much. A coincidence rangefinder would give me much more gun aiming speed, plus 35. Gun aiming speed is plus 19, and I probably won't have that much long range gun accuracy. So let's go with that. This is almost not worth it. Because having sonar basically tells you, yep, there's a torpedo coming in. But I can already tell you that there will be a lot of torpedoes coming in. So I'm not sure if that's going to really matter. Propulsion is going to matter as much for displacement. A turboelectric drive, potentially. But even with all that extra acceleration, 200%, I kind of doubt that it'll be useful. Because even 200,000 or 200% acceleration is not going to get you out of the way of a torpedo. Gas turbines give you 35% acceleration, but a lot more horsepower per ton, meaning that you save 3,000 tons on engine weight. Which, considering I still need to add a bunch of, well, weapon systems, is probably going to be useful. Engine efficiency is not good, though. We're going to need to boost that. Although I might not be moving at maximum speed. Here, this is going to nicely smoke up the secondary tower. That should be illegal. Can we do that with a mega funnel? No, it's still as bad. What if I put these guys in the secondary? Okay. I was going to say these guys in the secondary tower are going to hate me for this. But I guess it's fine. Oh, I can save weight here. Torpedo spotting plus 97, base accuracy, aiming speed 50, 44. This one has better accuracy. Modern tower enhanced. Okay, fine, we're using that one. Let's throw on another modern funnel. Is that too much? Plus 100. That, I think, really shouldn't be possible. Having another funnel back there. But hey, if the game's going to allow it, I'll use it. Okay, what if I use 2 5s? 89. Fine, we'll go with the 6 and another 6. There. Okay. So now, the guns. The guns. We're gonna need a lot of guns. I'm thinking 11-inch. Something that small allows me quite a lot of firepower. Because I can plaster these all over the deck, and they reload, at least in their base form, in 30 seconds. But if I put that auto-loading, they reload in 18 seconds. Now we're going to make these things turn with advanced hydraulic turrets, because I don't need a ton of rotation speed. It's not likely that we're going to have targets popping up all around us. When it comes to damage output, I'm thinking semi-armor piercing shells or semi-ballistics. Because with this, I can probably pretty reliably pen most targets. The thing is, your main guns most of the time will engage the same target. Which is not ideal for what I want this thing to do. So I'm gonna have these things on medium imposed barbettes, like this and there. And then I can have a couple of secondaries alongside them. These are gonna be 8-inch triples. A bit further forward. There. As for the rest, you can put 4-inch there. Can we put 5-inch? Is that a bit much? Oh, you can! 6? Whoa. How big does this go? 6-inch. Okay, fine. 6-inch. Triple there, there. Sadly not there. 5-inch triple, whatever. I'm not running logistics on this ship, so it's not my problem. Hold on, if I put a 5 here and then a 6 overhead... Yeah, the game is willing to accept that. Otherwise, they run into each other. But now they both fire at a pretty good accuracy, pretty good angle. Excellent. Stern. Let's go with another barbette. Can I have 2? Yes. We're going to have a gun there, there, and there. And of course, we're going to have more 8-inch guns. Because we need to put out a ton of fire very quickly. Especially against this level of threat. We're probably going to need a lot of shells. Increased. As far as the complement goes, probably mostly AP. But for the secondaries... the secondaries at 15,000 meter range, which is what those light cruisers will be engaged at, most likely. They have 4.6 inches of pen. The problem is, this goes for both the shells. So if I go with capped ballistic 2, I'll probably have enough pen on the 8-inchers. But these things are a bit overkill. So what I could do with the main guns is fire high explosive with capped ballistic. And that way probably blow stuff away with high explosive. At least at the shorter ranges. I mean, we're targeting light cruisers. It's not going to be all sorts of trouble. Max out this engine as much as I can. Where else can I put guns? Because the French have these 4-inch quads. Which are not necessarily going to be useful. They have a range of... Well, actually not bad. 11 kilometers, 10.8 for HE. That's actually pretty feasible. Sadly, you cannot really put them anywhere else. No, that's not true. You can put them everywhere. You can put them here. We can squeeze one in there. That is not going to fit. That's not going to fit. Here? Is that going to interfere with the 8-inch too much? No, not too much. I'll just have the ship broadside and blow away anything that gets close. Alright. Secondary guns are going to be firing AP. All of it. And the main guns are going to be mostly firing HE. Now, I still have a bunch of displacement left, which is good, because in this case, I'm going to need to up-armor the superstructure. Let's go with 8-inch. Game is getting a bit slow. There we go. 8 inches of superstructure armor. Let's see. I usually get shit for this in the comments, saying my pitch and roll are too high. Right now, they're not too bad. 11.3, 15. 15.3 is a bit high. This is because I have things set towards the outside of the ship, like these 8-inch turrets, and the game doesn't really like that. So stuff like this is going to affect my accuracy negatively by about 4%, 2%. Longitudinal is 0.5%. Base accuracy from beam is plus 10% though, so that offsets these two. And drafts reduces base accuracy, but gives you an accuracy bonus when you're at cruising speed. And this also gives you an accuracy at cruising speed, so we're definitely going to be going with cruising speed. If I go with super heavy shells, these 8-inchers, 5s and 6 might prove to be even more deadly. And of course these things will do more high explosive damage, so super heavy shells is probably the way to go. As for the rest, I still have about 5,000 tons left, and I'm not really sure what to put it in. If I go for an unbalanced rudder, I might be able to turn very quickly. Even with a ship like this. No, I really won't. It's too fat. It's an 804 meter turning circle. So yeah, that won't work. In that case, let's just go with 8-inch forebelt, 8 aft. Get a bit of a heavy bow. Let's go with a bigger aft belt then. Which will also help me in case I need to start running away from these cruisers. Which I kind of doubt. Let's go with 16-inch on the conning tower. Game is being a bit wonky about it. When the game is going all wonky like that, you usually just deploy a turret. And that normally fixes it. In this case, it doesn't. Come on, sit. 10 inches superstructure? No, that's a bit much. But not by that much. Reduce that a little. 15-inch? No. I'll just reduce the aft deck in strength. Reduce the aft belts. Increase the aft belt in strength. Nope, not that much. There we go. 4 weight offset, 0.3%. I can live with that. Superstructure 10 inches of armor plus 120. So effectively 22 inches of armor. That's a lot of armor. Okay, enough chatter. Let's go with the battle. Let's set the crew to max. Just to get the maximum accuracy out of this. This is something that back in the other video I couldn't do. So this is going to potentially make this battleship a lot more dangerous. Let's have a look. Okay, here we go. Let's see what the Spanish have decided to bring. We're going to go with HE on the mains, AP on the secondaries. And show me one of these light cruisers. As you can see, there's quite a few of them. This is what a fleet of 50 ships looks like. And apparently they were mostly put together in divisions of 4 and some divisions of 3. Now this is a sad excuse for a light cruiser. This is really sad. 5 6-inch guns, 14 3-inchers, and no torpedo tubes whatsoever. Yeah, we're going to restart this battle. This is sad. New attempt, and this time around these guys look quite a bit more interesting. They carry 8 7-inch guns, but more importantly they have a quad launcher over there. They have 2 more quads over there, and no, these are secondaries. So they can launch 12 torpedoes per side, per cruiser, times 50. Good luck. Let's see if this battleship is capable of surviving that long. I have a Torpedo Blister 5, which is extremely rare for what I usually use, because it just takes so much displacement that it's very hard to fit those on most ships, especially, for example, campaign stuff. But in this case, I might actually get away with it. Now you can see that this gun platform is pretty happy to open up with everything it has, insofar as it has a good firing angle. Now if I can keep them at range, that's good, but that would make for a boring video, so we're going to go more or less towards them, ideally keeping them at some range. And if I can ID them quickly, I can see what sort of torpedo range I need to be aware of. Now the AI is probably trying to turn their ships towards me. Yep, they're all coming this way-ish. And range finding is, well, they're working on it. I might not have enough shells for this encounter, at least not with not with the 11s. Unless I quickly blow these things away. They need to start sinking very quickly. Destroyed main gun. That's all the 11-inchers doing damage. The 8-inchers are in range, but I think haven't done that much yet. Because we are at just about maximum operational range for an 8-inch gun, for it to be useful anyway. They have a maximum range of 20 kilometers with their AP shells. And that should allow them to start punching holes in stuff from range, keeping me as safe as possible. Okay, that light cruiser is toast. 49 to go. I didn't quite mean to turn fully into them. Just watching this thing fire full salvos of 8s, 11s, 5s and 6s and potentially 4s later as they also get into range. Just look at this thing. It's a big chonker of a ship as well with that beam and draft at max. And it's not even the biggest ship. I'll probably do a video on that tomorrow. This biggest ship used to be 130,000 tons. The German. But you can go bigger now. Because you can increase the beam and the draft. So we can probably get to 140,000 tons. Something in that ballpark. Now, identification is about 70%. So in a minute, I can see what sort of torpedoes I should be worried about. Let's start turning away a bit. There's probably plenty of fish in the sea. And not in the good sense. Guns are engaging various targets as they see it. Come on. What you got? 80%, 54%. Please ID it before it dies. 90. That'll be dead before we ID it. Oh, here. We can see the series. The series has torpedoes that range 12.7 kilometers. So if I can stay outside of that, I should be fine. Currently, I'm within torpedo range for these ships. But the rest of the fleet, not so much. Looks like we are engaging... Well, not quite engaging several different targets. Which I was expecting. Because the main guns are trying to figure out a solution on something that's quite far away. This is easier to hit and kill. Let's get rid of these guys first. Because they're pretty much broadside onto me. These guys are approaching from the stern, which means I might have a bit more of an opportunity to dodge torpedoes. If they can launch them. Yeah, they can. Not sure why this guy is parked. Look at that turn. That's not a turning circle of 394. That's a... No. That reminds me of Stormworks. Where ships can turn on a dime if you give them water jet propulsion. Come on, light cruisers. Get some work done. Try and torpedo me, if you will. The previous video of this type, by the way, the 50 versus 1, was part of the Taskmaster series, and with all these new sliders and things that we can adjust about our ship design, I'm considering bringing that back. Seeing if, for example, Brother Monroe and maybe if some of the other older participants were or are interested in doing another season. Let me know what your thoughts are down below. If you have any good challenges that you'd like us to try and take on, that is, if we're going to do this thing, let me know down in a comment. It doesn't have to be a whole scenario, just a weird, funky task in this game. Looks like my French battleship so far is doing a fantastic job. It has been shot at 4,000 times, but taken very few actual hits. And of those hits, almost all of them were blocked. Thanks to that superstructure. I mean, 20 inches or 22 inches of superstructure armor is keeping these guys at bay quite nicely, but not the torpedoes. And these are 21 inch. Pretty average. Not to be discarded, though. Especially not considering the vast volume of torpedoes. Suelo is down. Yeah, we're going to charge in. Whatever. Damage done by the ship. Even the 4-inchers have done some damage. Here's the first set of torpedoes. I'll be able to dodge some, but not all. Let's see what they do. I'm thinking something like 20 to 50 points of damage. Right on the blister. 50. It's the higher end of what I had hoped. But hey, I gotta make it at least somewhat entertaining to try and charge in. Trying to balance out effectiveness of this warship with entertainment value of the video. Because I can snipe all of these guys at range. It would just take longer and it probably wouldn't be nearly as entertaining. Let's turn back to port. Speed, 20 knots. Good. By doing this, I'm no longer broadside. Everything is firing at me. With 7-inchers. Just blow this up. Target that with secondaries. Because we have a couple of ships very close together. If we might not hit one, we will probably hit the other. So the Andaluza, the Tornado. Boom. Out with a bang. Now, who would like to go next? The general here? This high explosive is so deadly. Look at this. The high explosive shells, at this range of 5 kilometers, they have 7 inches of pen. But, much to my surprise, I'm over-penetrating the belts. These things have... yeah, they have 0.8 inches of forebelt, 1.2 inches of aft belt. So they're pretty poorly protected. I mean, it's a light cruiser. It's not really that impressive, but I'm still expecting a bit more. And I really wasn't expecting to overpen with high explosive, of all things. Let's turn away a little bit. We're going to blow these guys up. Everything that's broadside to me is easy target. Or everything that I'm broadside to, because then I can get the most firepower. Because if I'm targeting stuff right behind me, most of the bow guns simply won't fire. Okay, that's main, that's secondary. Go. Ricochet? Really? Interesting. One time you're getting overpens, the next time you're getting ricochets. These high explosive shells are so deadly, though. Many bulkheads are not keeping these things safe, not even from extensive fires. Uh-oh. More torpedoes. Increase the flank, although I really cannot speed up before that one hits me. We have done 67,000 damage versus 240 taken. Yeah, 31 damage. Fortunately, nothing critical has been hit. Both my engines are functional, or all of my engines are functional. And my rudder still works. Which is probably the more important factor here. Now, the ship design of this battleship is not the same as the one that I did before. And it is seemingly performing better. So I believe that in the previous task, or the previous video, so the Taskmaster Challenger, I had more trouble getting rid of these light cruisers. But then again, those light cruisers could have had more armor, could have had more firepower. Potentially bigger torpedoes as well. But right now, they're not dropping like flies per se. But they're not really proving that effective. Although that's about to change. Because that is a large group of torpedoes. And even with the torpedo blister, that will hurt. Yeah, that hurt a bit more than I'd hoped. I'm starting to take some flooding damage. Target these. Get rid of the Favorita. And the Rio de la Plata. Some more torpedoes. Turn over to starboard. No, actually. Turn back to port a little bit. We're going to have to stay a little bit farther away. Because we're 8-4, 8-1. I'm still going to eat another 2. 3. That was from the Favorita. Shit. It's a delicate mix between trying to stay broadside and trying to get my damage in. Sorry, trying to stay broadside to get my damage in and dodge torpedoes. And I seemingly cannot do very well with either. Come on, target this. Secondaries on the Isabella. That's going to be 2 more hits. 3 more hits even. 84,000 damage done, which is still 85 times more than what the AI has inflicted. There's still plenty of these things left. Look at this. You think you're doing quite well, but there's just a shitload of these guys around. And I'm running out of HE shells, which means I'm going to switch to AP for the guns. The mains, the 11s, which means I'll probably not have enough ammo. I don't like that. What the fuck is that displacement? Or that dispersion? What are you doing? That's not even close to the ship. It's not there, it's here. Your range finding system has not been hit. It's the AI doing all sorts of trashy accuracy shit again. Look at that. It's not once or twice, it's 3, 4, 5, 6 salvos at this point. Now, at this rate, I will probably also run out of high explosive ammo for the 8-inch guns. Oh shit, you guys are getting close. That's bad news. That will torpedo me again. Target the tornado. Need to get rid of some of these guys quick, although the damage has already been done. They've already launched the torpedoes. And we're catching one after the other. These guys are so close together that I think a shell might pen one ship, fly out the other side, and hit the other light cruiser behind it. One more thing that I would like to be updated in the interface is show me how many ships I've sunk. Or how many ships I've lost. So especially in larger battles, that would be a very valuable metric for me. Now the mains are switching to AP, because the HE is out. Meaning that I'll probably get a ton of overpens on all sorts of targets. Sadly. But we'll have to make do. Let's see. Pause this for a second. 11-inch. Main deck? At that range? Okay. Partial pen. Partial pen. Overpen. But that's overpen with the 8-inch guns. Okay. Let's set the secondaries to auto-select. Allowing them to pick what sort of ammo they want for the task. Are these guys... Oh, these still have ammo. Target this. That needs to go pretty quick. We're going to turn into that. Although these guys also all have the torpedoes. Oh, that's not good. Blocked? I'm giving the AI a pretty difficult task between picking what sort of shell to pick with a mix of 8-inch shells, for which a high explosive might be the better option. Whereas the same armament, or the same group of weapon systems, also contains the 4-inch. And for the 4-inch, ideally, you would probably pick AP. So I think that we're going to see a pretty bad mix of firepower in that sense. It's not going to be that good. Why are we targeting something 11 clicks out? Explain that to me. They're starting to thin their numbers, but not enough. A lot of these guys have taken a ton of damage, though. You just need a bit of finishing off, like this group here. Okay. That's promising. Target the Castilla with everything we have. We still have 790 to make that 774 shells. Yeah, she's dead. Narc's target, Narvaez. Jesus, that thing got mauled. Have a look. That's what happens when, in a matter of seconds, I think, the ship took 51 hits. And instantly succumbed to her damage. The battle has been raging for a little over an hour. And the amount of ships that you can see up here is seriously diminishing. Is that thing dead yet? Yeah, it's dead. Next target, the Leon. We've still got more torpedoes coming in. Narvaez has been sunk. That's gonna hit. Nothing crippling yet. Structural integrity should be sufficient to take me through this battle. And I'm very happy that the rudder still has not been crippled. Because then I would just ram into every torpedo that I could find out here. Dead. Next, Constancia. I'm surprised how easy this is, actually. Because I remember the previous time we had to do a random number generator, and you got a battleship, but against an X number of battleships, depending, or an X number of ships and an X number of different class types. I think it was Spartan Elite who got pretty unlucky and had to fight against 50 battleships or so. Which, of course, didn't go as well, but his points were more valuable. But I remember my ship not doing as well. I did get all the kills back then, but I believe at far less structural integrity. Whereas now, 59%, 91. The only thing I might run out of is ammo. The rest of it's fine. Look at this graveyard of light cruisers. Ferrolano might flood. We can pick off the Bonia Maria de Molina, as well as the other light cruiser behind it. Oh. Did we take more torps? Yeah, we got hit by one, but not nearly as bad as it could have been. Now the AI is at a bit of a disadvantage here because it has these very close formations. Which means that if a ship gets hit, 2 or potentially 3 if its sister ships also get hit, depending on the formation size. Meaning that those things are likely to take a lot of damage. This is a beautiful cross-torque by the AI. Nothing I can do about that. Except have a good torpedo blister. The Santa Lucia just launched. Let's tell her not to do that again. Yeah, she's gone. Next. I'm switching targets a little faster before the ship is actually sunk. To make sure I still have enough ammo. Because I'm seeing all sorts of yellows. There's the torpedo salvo. Meaning that my ammo is running low. Done. Now, if you have any other ideas for a video like this, another 50 versus 1, or maybe 1 versus 50, depending what side I should pick, let me know down below in the comments. What other sort of weird and wonderful matchups would you like to see? So I'm thinking maybe one fairly modern destroyer with a bunch of 2-inch guns against torpedo boats. That could be amusing. I'd be dodging torpedoes everywhere, as I would start at maybe 5,000 meter range. No, that would probably still be too much. 2,500 meter range then, 2,000. The battleship has now done 185,000 damage. The Spanish Navy is going to be at a bit of a disadvantage. Because they still cannot predict my turns. If they had all launched torps at the same time, they might have actually killed me. But it looks like I will actually get away with this. In maybe 8:15, so a little under 2 hours. Not a bad result. Oh shit, there's more. Brendryen has sunk. Beautiful dodge. That's how you get 113,000 tons out of the way. Fernando. And this is the Reina. Zigzag again, because... Oh, this guy's launched. This guy's also launched. Shit. Yeah, you're gone. You're gone. These guys are close together, no? Not that close, but they are in a line. So I might accidentally hit the Neptuno. Yep, there we go. Even if it was a ricochet. I really hope that later today we're going to see the patch for the campaigns. The problem is, currently, not so much with the campaigns, but with the patch, the dev team, or at least a portion of the dev team for Dreadnoughts, is in Ukraine. And I really cannot imagine what they're going through. Just imagine your capital, which is, I believe, where some, potentially most of them are. I don't know the composition of the team, nor exactly where they are, but I believe they're in Kiev. Just imagine having your city under siege. The last thing on your mind is developing some game. So, those of you who are trying to play a campaign and are frustrated with it not working, imagine being frustrated with not your infrastructure of the city not working and a whole bunch of foreign invaders working over your city, your families, your place of work, a lot of different things. And hopefully that can place this thing in a bit more context. Give me armor piercing to deal with the last 3 cruisers. 7.5 kilometer range. Yeah, this will be fine. Mains are out of ammo. But... Oh, wow. I was going to say the 8 inches did a lot of work, but the 11 inches did a factor of 20 times more work. 164,000 damage was done by the 11-inch guns. And as much as the 8-inch guns are going to try, they'll never catch up to that. So the Concordia will flood. And then the pretty crippled Gravina is going to be next. They will send a few more torpedoes into my hull. But it's not good enough. Gravina, a bit more flooding, and she's done. Ah, now they've hit something critical. Engine 2 and 3 are damaged, and my rudder's been damaged. But that compartment seems to be already getting drained. And even so, it doesn't matter, because I don't have to dodge any more torpedoes. Still all the ricochets, though. Blocked, overpen. It's probably the 4 inches which are starting to ricochet off of the side of that ship. How has my ship fared through all this? Remarkably well. She's been blackened somewhat. Not as much as I was expecting. This is why you have superstructure armor. Go on, let's finish this. She's down. This range, high explosives, probably more useful. Ripping the hull apart, flooding and fire, and extensive fire kills it. And with 8 hours and 14 minutes on the clock, meaning 1 hour and 46 minutes taken, the last cruiser slips beneath the waves for a huge loss of life for the Spanish Navy. So, that was an interesting challenge. I didn't think it would go this well. With a ship that I believe is not necessarily as good, but it's definitely different from what I had before. If you want to see the original video, it's linked down below in a comment that I'll have pinned in the comment section. And again, if you have ideas for Taskmaster, if you would like that to come back, let me know down below. And if you have ideas for other challenges, by all means, post those down below in the comments. Hope you guys enjoyed. I'll see you guys soon for more videos.